Hello, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of I'm Just Saying, the podcast where we get real, raw, and honest about life, growth, and all the messy things that come in between. I'm your host, Jess, and you've officially entered into a safe space. So make sure you go ahead and get comfortable, grab you something good to drink on, get you a blanket if you would like to. And if you're listening to this at work, make sure you go ahead and push those headsets in just a little bit more because I don't want you to miss a thing. So today we are going to be talking about something that's actually I'm going through currently in this moment. I had a whole plan for this episode, but by the time I sat down to get ready to record, I was like, I just have something else on my heart and I just want to share it with you guys so you can see and understand that you can learn all the things, you can experience all the things, and you still just don't know what life is going to throw at you. You're constantly changing. And if you're constantly changing, you should be constantly learning new things about yourself, which is what I'm on the journey of doing. It's so crazy because I've worked on myself through and through. Internally, externally, there's always been ups and downs. And yeah, the journey just continues. I've gone to therapy. I'm still in therapy. I'm trying to book my next session now because it's definitely needed. I don't talk to a lot of people about the things that I go through. I pray about everything that I go through. Absolutely. I have journaled more. I've gotten back into my affirmations more. So, I'm just constantly working on myself. And even with me doing all of that, I'm still learning new things about myself all the time. And so today is one of those days. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this episode is going to be specifically for my overachievers, people pleasers, people who are constantly looking for validation. This is going to be an episode that's especially for you because I feel like what I realized about myself is going to be something that you can relate to. So I was today years old. Well, actually yesterday years old when I realized that I suffer from wanting to be the main character in other people's story. Even when I think back on it now, I'm sure I've been dealing with this ever since I've been a child, from insecurities about my weight, about how I look, about my dating experiences, about my personal family issues. I did develop a lot of insecurities as I was growing up. And I felt like I had dealt with those things, which I have, because I was one of those people that felt like like I'm never chosen. And I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I always just felt like I can be the best person I can be. And nobody ever really chooses me. And I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, I want you to be my girlfriend. Oh, I love you. Oh, those kind of things. But to really be chosen, for you to have someone to really see you for who you are and to really appreciate you for being the person that you are, loving you for being the person that you are, and living in that moment and making sure you feel it and making sure you understand, like, this is how I feel about you. And these are the things that I want for you and want for us to experience together. And I don't even mean from a romantic standpoint, even when it comes to family, friendships. I don't feel like I've ever been chosen. I feel like there's always been something or someone else that has been a priority over me at some point, and which was something that I definitely wanted to work on. So before I actually started working on it, the unhealed version of me, I felt like, well, if nobody's going to appreciate me, then I'm going to withhold parts of myself. I'm not going to allow everyone to be able to experience certain parts of me because people don't appreciate me for who I am. So why should I let you experience that if you're not going to genuinely appreciate what I'm doing and the person that I'm being and the growth that I'm experiencing, the things that I'm going through? If you're not going to really appreciate me for that, then I'm not going to allow you to experience those parts of me. And in turn, doing that, I ended up changing myself. I became very angry. I became very bitter because not only now did I not feel appreciated or seen, or validated in any kind of way, I also wasn't being myself. So I'm restraining myself, thinking that I'm protecting myself, and I'm actually doing more damage than good. So then that is when I decided that I needed to do something about it. Like, obviously, withholding myself, suppressing the person that I truly am just for the sake of keeping other people from experiencing me. It definitely wasn't the solution that it wasn't a solution at all. Actually, it didn't fix anything. It caused more problems. It caused me to actually experience people that I probably shouldn't have experienced. It attracted certain people that were not actually meant for me because they saw me as being one way when that really was not me. It was so much more to me, and there was so much depth to me. And honestly, if they would have seen that, they probably would have ran the other way, because I would have been so, secure in the person that I was. After I went through the phase of holding myself back, being someone else, not living out loud, so to speak, I started my journey. I tried therapy for the first time because there was a lot of things that I needed to unpack from my past. I tried that. My first therapist, she wasn't the perfect fit for me, but she helped me get through what I needed to get through in that moment. And it's so crazy. I do want to share just a brief little snippet about my first therapy experience, because it's crazy how certain traumas can lay dormant inside of you, and you think you've gotten over something, or you think certain things don't bother you that much. Like, oh yeah, that's happening, but I'm not too much bothered by it. And then the moment that you start to talk, you start to speak, and not only are you speaking, but you're speaking to someone that you really believe is listening to you, you start divulging and just like spewing all these things that you didn't even realize was bothering you. So by the time I went to my first therapy session, I was so prepared to talk about so many things that I knew have been eating at me and bothering me for years. And I sat down, and the first thing I just cried about was me losing my grandfather. And I loved my grandfather. I still love him to this day. He's an amazing man. And I know God's happy to have him. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. Because I know you loved him so much as well. We all did. He was an amazing man, one of the most amazing men I've ever experienced in my life. And I cried about that so much. I think that was the first time I've ever experienced a loss that was so close to me. But yes, that was the first time I've actually experienced losing someone that I was actually close to. So as much as I knew that I loved my granddad, like, I just did not realize that that was something that I was holding on to, and that was really bothering me so much. So I do encourage you guys, like, sit down and have a conversation with someone that you know is going to listen. Sometimes we sit here and we think we know what's wrong with ourselves, and we think we know what's bothering us, and we think we know all of the unhealed parts of us. And you don't know until you actually start to dive in there. And once you start diving into that sea of all your memories and all of your trauma and all of your experiences, you just don't know what you're going to find, because sometimes we want to forget things, or we don't want to feel things anymore, and we bury them so deep that we forget that they're there. And just because you forget that they're there does not mean that they're not affecting you still. So you definitely want to make sure that you are understanding where you are, understanding the things that you've experienced, and understanding how those experiences have shaped you. Because I am today years old, and once again, I'm just now figuring out that I yearn to be the main character in other people's story. And I would have never known that had I not just allowed life's experiences, allowed myself to experience certain things in life, and learning from them. You have to learn from not only the good things, but from the bad things as well. Everything happens for a reason. I know we say these things like, we just say these things, but they actually do have meaning to them. I used to think back and I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, why did God have me to go through that? Like, why am I experiencing these things? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why? And I definitely used to always like think like, damn, did I do something in a past life or something? Like, did I steal something in a past life? Or like, what happened? Did I help to overtake somebody's land? I'm just saying, like, what did I do to deserve these things? And I will say that after, much self-reflection and therapy and journaling, I now do understand that life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. There was a mindset that I used to have that caged me. It wasn't helping me grow in any kind of way. I will, okay, you know what? I will say I would be a bit judgmental. I'll be like, why would somebody do something like that? Why would she do something? I would never be somebody. I would never let somebody treat me this way. I would never, and you would never until you do. So yeah, I just believe that I've experienced so many things to know that you could put up so many barriers, you could put up so many boundaries, and you still have to be able to have that human connection. So you still have to be able to understand why some people do the things that they do, because then you'll understand why you do the things that you do. And when you have that understanding, that connection to humanity, and not just thinking like a robot, as if if you were in every situation, the best thing to do. You don't, because every situation is different. And I've just recently learned that life is not black and white. So I'm learning to live in the color, live life, make decisions, make choices, make some good ones, make some bad ones, but I'm going to learn from every single one of them. And I'm going to love the whole journey. Doesn't matter if it comes with smiles, doesn't matter if it comes with laughs, doesn't matter if it comes with tears. I'm going to appreciate every journey, because those experiences is what's making me better every single day. When you pray and you ask God, please make me this way, please make me that way. You don't know the journey that you're going to have to take to get to be that person that you're praying to be. It's not going to be you just wake up one morning and, oh my God, I'm accountable. Oh my God, I'm so much more responsible. Oh my God, like I'm finally gonna live in my purpose. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through the journey. And that's when you're gonna appreciate the person that you've become, because you've done the work to get to the space that you want to be in. Which leads me up to what this whole conversation is about. So I've done as much work as I could possibly do to better myself, to deal with all of the insecurities that I have from my past, all of my trauma. I've definitely done a lot of work in therapy when it comes to that. And I'm proud of myself for that. But the one thing that did not change through me going through therapy, through me getting rid of all of the pain that I felt from the negative experiences I've had, for all of the bad decisions that I've made, me forgiving myself, and just trying to live better and do better and be better. Even after I worked through all of those things in therapy, my mindset still had not changed. Because what happened is I came out looking like this confident woman that's ready to take on the world, because I know what I want. I know what I want, and I know what it's going to take for me to get there. But the thing about it is, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what I wanted. I wanted this loving life. I wanted a life full of love. I want success. I want to be happy. I want to be at peace. I want a family. I would love friends, business friends, personal friends, traveling friends. I would love all of those things. But the problem is the things that I was willing to sacrifice to get to that. I was willing to sacrifice myself, basically. And I say that because I was willing to be whatever the other person needed me to be, just for me to make that story come to life. I was willing to put myself in their vision and put my vision to the side. I wouldn't even say put my vision to the side, because honestly, I didn't have a vision for myself as being a part of a community, or being a part of a union, or being in a relationship, or having a friendship. It's like, when I have my life and it's just me, I have a vision for life as just me. But when I start to add people into my life, I was okay with changing things in my vision so that I can include them. So let's just say if it's a romantic partner and we're trying to build businesses together, I was okay with saying, let me put my stuff to the side, because I know that I can come back and get my stuff done. Let me put my stuff to the side and let me help you. Or if it came to friendships, like, let me put my issues to the side and let me help you. Just let me put my stuff to the side, and then I'll figure out a way to come back to my things later. And even with me doing that, I still didn't get the main character role in any of the parts that I tried out for. Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing all this work, all this training, all this rehearsing, because you want to be a part of these projects, these amazing projects that you see, and it's like, oh my gosh, I know that we can do great things together. I just need you to give me this part, so I'm going to show you how amazing I am, all the great things I can do, all the work that I can make happen, all the beautiful outcomes I can produce. I can show you how dedicated I could be, how loyal I am, how loving I am. I can show you all those things, and you still don't give me the part. Like, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Just to think about all the time and effort and energy that you put into other people's projects, and you still don't become the main character. And the truth is, you're never going to be someone else's main character. And you shouldn't want to be someone else's main character. Now, I'm not going to tell everyone what you should and shouldn't want. So I'm not going to say that, but I don't want to be someone else's main character. I don't want to spend my life being a person that's doing all the things just for someone else to say, you're great, you're amazing, you're awesome, you did that. Yeah, looking for a pat on the back, or looking for someone to put me up on some kind of pedestal or make me feel good and validate me. I don't want that. Because just like they can give it to me, they can take it away. And I don't want anything that can be taken away, because God gives me all my blessings and he's the only one that can remove them. And I don't want anything given to me by man, because it could be taken away by man. So today I have made a promise to myself. I already had like my goals set for the year, for the quarter, but I have to add something on there. Like, I'm going to be the main character of my own story. And from this day forward, I'm only interested in collaborations. No longer am I trying to interject myself into someone else's project. No longer am I trying to help you bring your vision to life while mine sits up on the counter collecting dust until there's time for us to get around to the things that I want, get around to the things that I need, making you the whole picture, and then just sprinkling little pieces of me in there. Like, oh, you see that I did that part. You see that right there? I did that part. No, I'm no longer doing that. I'm only interested in collaborations. I have a vision, you have a vision, and if we bring both of those visions together in some kind of way, shape, or form, we're going to make something amazing. And that's with both of us being fulfilled. And that's not just when it comes to romantic relationships. That's also when it comes to friendships. That's also when it comes to work. I know a lot of times we take jobs, we work our asses off just to barely be able to get what you need to pay your bills. We know the economy is horrible. So if you're not going to be completely financially fulfilled, you definitely should be fulfilled in other ways. So if you're out there and you're on the job hunt and you're looking for something, don't just look for something that pays your bills. Make sure that you guys' goals align. That is so very important, because people do not leave jobs for money. They leave jobs for environments, working environments, hostile work environments, not being respected, not being appreciated. So definitely make sure you have things that align, because that's what's going to really fulfill you. There are so many people that are underpaid and happy at their job because they love the people that they work with. They love that their boss cares about them. They love that their thoughts are being appreciated. And also they love that they're a part of something. They love that their input is appreciated, because not only do I have a vision for your business because I'm working here, because I know I could take it to great heights, but I also have a vision for myself. And because of how you run your business, I can make my vision happen within your business while also helping you make your vision happen. And that's how you collaborate when it comes to you deciding on places that you want to work. Stop giving people all of you, and stop only doing things for other people. I know as a culture, and when I say as a culture, I mean Black people, I love us to death. But there's so many things that have been put in our minds that we have to let go of. It's been put on us that it's okay to just give. Oh, you just give to this person and God is going to bless you. No, God is going to bless you. Absolutely. But it's also okay to make smart decisions, smart investments. You don't just keep giving to someone, to something or someone that you know is a bad investment. And then when you don't get a return on the investment, that's your fault. That's your fault. Be responsible and accountable for your decisions. Stop just saying God is going to handle it. You're here in this very moment. God gave you, God is handling it. He's handling it because he gave you the ability to make choices. And not only did he give you the ability to make choices, he gave you the knowledge that you need to be able to make the best choice. So take what God has given you and make the best decision. So there's something that I want to address. And it's probably going to shake up the room a little bit, but the spirit has moved me to go here, so I'm going there. Stop connecting yourself with people that you know are not good people, and then thinking that God is going to get them. God is going to get them back. Karma's going to come back around on them. You're no better than them. You willingly connect yourself with someone that you know means you no good. And then when they do you dirty, you pretend to be surprised. And then you want to badmouth them once you finally come to your senses, and more than likely, they probably ditch you. Let's just be honest. But however you guys part ways, once you part ways, then you want to talk bad about them, say how much of a horrible person they are, how they did you so wrong, and how God don't play about you, and how karma's going to come back to get them, and how you're about to glow up, and they on the sea, and you can't wait until they see it. No, you don't know. That's not how this works. You knowingly making a bad decision, that does not mean that God is about to come down from the heavens and play as your personal warrior and just rain down on this person that you feel like did you dirty, when you knowingly knew the kind of person that they were and you willingly connected yourself to them. And hey, that was your return on your investment. Please, I talked about this in my last episode when it came down to setting your goals and stuff like that. You guys, please, let's try to make smart investments, and let's just try to be better. And I know we say that people are constantly changing, and we are. So the moral of the story is, I want you guys to constantly work on being better. Work on growing, work on learning, work on being you, being the best version of you, experiencing life. Don't let people change you, because people are going to do what people do. But just know when it's time for you to move on. And when you know it's time for you to move on, don't waste a second. Move. When it's time for you to move, you need to move. And if you're struggling with knowing when it's time for you to move, if you're considering moving, then it's probably time for you to move. And that doesn't always mean completely removing yourself, but something needs to happen. Some kind of shift needs to take place. If you're even considering it, then there's something that's going on and something needs to happen. And you just got to figure out what that is. But I do want to remind you that we're constantly changing as people. And being that we're constantly changing, don't only try to understand how other people around you are changing. Understand how you're changing. Get to know yourself. It's good to spend time with yourself, meditate, journal, just sit in quiet time. Spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Understand how you're changing. What are new things that you require? What are things that you no longer require? What kind of people do you need to be surrounded by? You're growing, you're changing, you're needing new things, you're needing new connections. Maybe you need to start networking more. What are the things that you need as you elevate your life? You have to stay on top of that. Because that's going to keep pushing you to be the better person that you're trying to be. You're never going to reach the top because you're constantly growing. You're going to be growing until the day you leave this earth. So you're never just going to reach the top, but you're going to keep striving for it. And understand what it is that you want in this life. Because that's when you can write your script. You can write out your vision that you have for your life. And once you understand what that is, then you can cast as the main character. You be the main character of your own story. And then you just look for people that you can collaborate with. People that have their own vision, their own story, and they're the main character of their own story. And you guys can come together and make amazing experiences and amazing memories and just make things happen. And nobody's looking to be validated by the other because we both have our own vision. We both have our own things that we're working towards. We both understand why we're here. You just both get it. And your value is not based on what another person thinks of you. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I know it probably was all over the place. Like I said, this was something that was just placed on my heart to do. I didn't usually have notes and everything to try and keep myself on track, but I didn't have notes. This is just a message straight from the heart. So I do apologize if it may have seemed all over the place, but I really want to let you guys know I appreciate every single one of you who listen to my episode, who support me in any kind of way, whether it's just you watching the video, you liking, sharing, following me on social media, whatever it is that you do. I want you to know that I love and appreciate all of you. I really, really do. I appreciate all of the support. And there's going to be so much more to come because, like I said, we're always learning new things. I'm always learning. So there's no telling what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So thank you so much again for tuning into the episode. And if you know someone that may be struggling with something like this, or just a girlfriend that could use a little pick me up or a little inspiration, make sure you share it with her as well. And like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to make yourself the main character. I'm just saying.